At the outset, what you need to know is that there are three types of Hajj. One is where a person is only making Hajj alone. So that is called Ifrat. The second type is where a person makes Umrah and Hajj with one Ihram. And that is called Qiran. The type that most of you who will be traveling from South Africa will be doing is a Tamattu' Hajj, which is you will enter the Haram, you will make Umrah, then you will come out of Ihram, and then you will enter a fresh Ihram for the days of Hajj itself. Our focus is on the 5 days of Hajj. So we fast forward to the 7th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the day before Hajj, where your preparation will start now for the actual 5 days. So what you will be required to do for your own ease is to prepare yourself to pack a small bag that will take you through 2.5 days or so. That bag you'll require it for that period of time. And in that bag you'll have your basic amenities that you want for this duration of the next 2.5 days. In that bag you'll put maybe a Hajj mat. If you would like the Mus'haf of the Quran, the Munajat-e Maqbool, maybe a Tasbih, some chevro, some naan ketai, some of your snacks. The bag has to be to that extent that you can carry it yourself, because even if you're going to be traveling with a bus, there may be times when you have to walk, and there's many times where people put stones in their bags and they request the muallim or someone else to help them with the bag. So you've got to be able to carry the bag yourself. There's either the possibility that you may do the walking Hajj, or you may be doing the Hajj with the transport, with the bus. Either way, at some point, you may need to carry your bag. From a South African perspective, in all likelihood, that 7th of Dhul Hijjah, you will be in Aziziyah. So you will start off the day before Hajj in Aziziyah. However, there is a special merit to start off your Hajj from Makkatul Mukarramah. It may not necessarily be logistically possible, but if it is possible, then to go to Makkah and to start off from there. So you will prepare your bag the night before. Come the morning of the 8th, which is the first day of Hajj, you will perform your Fajr Salah in your local masjid, women in the hotel or in the apartment, and after which, as has been outlined, you will then now prepare yourself to go in Ihram. That has been explained, all the aspects with regards to Ihram has already been explained, so there's no need to go into the detail of the Ihram itself. When you go into Ihram now, you will then make the intention, and the intention that you will make for Ihram is, I'm going into Ihram for Hajj. And you will perform your 2 rakats, but first you will perform your 2 rakat salah. After the 2 rakat salah, you will make your intention, recite the labbaik, recite 3 times durood, and make dua. Your ihram only starts with the recitation of the labbaik. After you've now performed these 2 rakats, you will now proceed to Mina. If possible, if you can, to read these 2 rakats in Makkatul Mukarramah. If possible, to perform the walking Hajj, there's a special virtue. The hadith states that whoever makes Hajj from Makkah walking, then this person will get for every step 700 rewards, and the 700 rewards will be the 700 times the rewards of the Haram. And the Haram has 100,000 rewards. For every step, 700 times 100,000. Any accountants here? So for every step, 70 million rewards for every step. So that is the reward for doing a walking Hajj. There's a difference of opinion amongst the ulama. Some prefer the Hajj that you do via conveyance, and that is why they say that you should go via the bus. Others, based on this particular virtue, according to your own position, according to your strength, according to what you find yourself more comfortable with, you will undertake Hajj in that particular manner. So after sunrise, you will then proceed to Mina. Either from Aziziyah, you will then cross over into Mina, or it may be that you're able to, in the early hours of the morning, take a walk to Makkatul Mukarramah, enter your ihram, come back to Aziziyah, and then from Aziziyah proceed to Mina. When you come into Mina, and from this point onwards, you should now recite the talbiyah abundantly. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. As Maulana had beautifully described the labbaik and the meaning and the essence of it. When you come to Mina now, there is no official worship in Mina. There's nothing extra. You have to perform 5 salahs. That is all that is required of you. What happens in Mina is that you are in close proximity with your fellow Hajjaj. You've already developed some sort of friendship over the period that you've been together, the 3 weeks, the 4 weeks. So what very often tends to happen is people get caught in either banter or vain talk. Whereas we should abstain from both. When you're getting caught in banter, there's a lot of possibility that you may then end up making ghiba. Because human nature is such that more than 60% of our conversation is always about someone else. And when you're talking about someone else, there's a great possibility that what you're talking about may lead you to ghiba. So rather recite your talbiyah, have a program. There's no separate place for salah. So the tent where you are, that is the space, you in close proximity with those around you. So you've got to ensure that you develop your own routine and that you do not develop too many friendships that you're talking all the time. You will now remain here for the period of 5 salahs. After each salah, there will be the programs by the ulama, there will be discourses, advices that will be given. Listen to that, attend to that, and be attentive and take maximum benefit from that. After you perform the Isha, you will retire to bed, and they may wake you up in the early part of the morning. What had happened to us was that we were moved in the early hours of the morning to Arafat before performing the Fajr Salah in Mina. And this is obviously against the Sunnah, but because of the logistical reasons, there are certain things that there's a give and take, that you can't always get everything perfectly right. So if that is the arrangement, and if you stay behind and say, no, it's a Sunnah to make Fajr in Mina, I'm not going with the bus, your whole Hajj may be jeopardized. You've got to go with the flow at that point. So you stay there for your 5 salahs. When you wake up for the Fajr on the 9th of Zul Hijjah, which is the 2nd day of Hajj, now you will then begin with the Takbir Tashriq, because those are the Ayyam Tashriq. On the day, this will later become the day of Arafah, and it is generally advised that you shouldn't keep fast. However, if a person does have the strength to fast on this day, then it is allowed for him to fast on the day of Arafah, and there'll be virtue for that. You will now leave Mina after sunrise, and you will make your way to Arafah. On the way en route to Arafah, you will recite Talbiyah as much as possible. And try to recite it loudly, but not in a chorus. Every person should, according to their own capacity, continue to recite the Talbiyah. After that, recite Durood, make dua. Once you come to Arafah, there may be some period of time before the actual wukuf time starts. It is again mustahab to take a ghusl during that time to fulfill your amenities. If you need to take a rest, to rest for a while, and then also to try and eat and get finished with your toilet and wudu and all of that, preparing yourself for zawal, because the wukuf time starts at zawal only. Once the time of zawal comes in, that is when the wukuf of Arafat starts. You will then make your dhuhr salah on your own, with a jamaat, but not by going to the masjid. If you go to the masjid, which is a distance away, then you can make the dhuhr and the asr together. But if you're making it in your camp, you will make dhuhr on its appointed time, and then you will make asr on its appointed time. Continue with the takbir tashriq after the dhuhr and the asr. It is recommended that you try and get close to Jabal Rahmah, but if you're going to endeavor to get close to the Jabal Rahmah, you may then lose your way and you may get lost, and that again will jeopardize the quality and your ability to render your ibadah in the best possible manner. So you'll perform Dhuhr and Asr at their appointed times. Thereafter, after the Dhuhr Salah, you may have a small program with the Imam. or your leader, or you may, then begin with your own individual routine for the afternoon. The most important thing is dua. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when we look at his Hajj, he spent almost 5 hours, and those hours were spent in dua. And throughout Hajj, it is the moments of acceptance. And one of the great occasions for acceptance, one of the greatest moments in a mu'min's life is to be on the plains of Arafah. And throughout the Hajj journey, one has to protect oneself. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was on the plains of Arafah, and he was on a conveyance, and he had Sayyidina Fadl bin Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhum with him. And Sayyidina Fadl radiyallahu anhu was sitting with Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam when a lady from the Khush'am tribe had come to ask for a masla. She came to ask Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah Rabbul Izzah made it for us to learn something. So Sayyidina Fadl was looking at the lady, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam observed that he was looking at the face of the lady, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved his face away to protect your gaze. So there was a muallim of the Hajj who advised those who were in his group that protection of the eyes is very important in Hajj, and when you will be tested at various places. So at any time, if you find that you're tempted and you're looking at the opposite gender, then you should just say Subhanallah and move on. So the next morning, when the group was walking, and one of the brothers said Subhanallah, and the other said, wait. So be that as it may, we need to obviously protect our ibadah and the proximity with which we are in. The ladies may not have their faces covered, and if they do, there is the rulings with regards to how it should be done, and that has been spoken about, but to protect oneself. And therefore, the men and ladies try to stay separate in the time of wukuf also, and to continue making dua, to lift your hands up and to really make dua, to have a dua list, to make dua, to prepare yourself as to what are the things that you'd like to make dua for on the plains of Arafah. And you'll spend the afternoon in dua. Then Asr time will come in, you will make the Asr Salah. After the Asr Salah, you may have some collective dua, and the wukuf will then continue till Maghrib time. It may be that the group starts rounding up before Maghrib, but you are to remain on the plains of Arafah till Maghrib. Once Maghrib time comes in, then you will now proceed towards Muzdalifah. This is there's one dua that one should read on the plains of Arafah. La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu yuhyi wa yumeet, wa huwa hayyun la yamut, biyadil khair wa huwa ala kulli shayin qadir. So this is the highly recommended dua to read on the plains of Arafah. When we complete the wukuf of Arafah and the day is coming towards an end, then the next part of the second day, which is the 9th of Zulhijjah, then you proceed to Muzdalifah. You will either leave with your bus or you will leave walking. You will leave after sunset. You will not perform your Maghrib Salah at Arafah, even though the time has come in. You will not read it on the road, but you will read it when you reach your destination in Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah is a different ball game altogether, in the sense that in Mina, in Arafah, there is a designated place for the South African Hujjaj. That you have your camp, you have your place where you will perform your Salah. However, in Muzdalifah, you will have, there's no designated place for the Hujjaj. So everyone is in open place together. So this is the challenge. There's no tent, there's no separated place. Where you find your place, that is where you will perform your Salah. That is where you will make your wukuf. It is again mustahab to make ghusl for the wukuf of Muzdalifah. So when you reach Muzdalifah, to take a ghusl or to first perform your Maghrib and your Isha Salah. The Maghrib and the Isha Salah will be made with one azan and one iqamah. And after you complete the Salah, the Isha Salah, you will then make the Takbir Tashriq, and you will then make your Sunnah of your Maghrib and Isha. After which, you will now spend this night in worship. And it is said that this night in worship is greater than the worship of Laylatul Qadr and Laylatul Jummah. It is on this night that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made dua for the forgiveness of the Ummah. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was shown a dream that the Ummah was forgiven except those who oppressed one another. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam continued making dua that the oppressor also be granted forgiveness. And it said that the time of the break of dawn, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was seen smiling. And when he was asked in this regard, he said that I had made this dua and Allah had granted it to me. So to spend the night in wukuf in Muzdalifah. There are certain of the other mazahib that will proceed, but you need to understand that you need to remain there till the time of Fajr and perform your Fajr Salah at Muzdalifah. During this night, you will collect either 49 or 70 pebbles to do your stoning. After you make your Fajr Salah, there is a brief wukuf that is also necessary, and it is written in the books that to make a ghusl for this wukuf is also mustahab. And then just before the time of sunrise, you will then proceed to Mina. Once you start proceeding to Mina, this is now for the third day of Hajj, and it is the 10th of Dhul Hijjah. Once you reach Mina, the first thing that you will do is, after reaching Mina, you will now proceed to pelt the big shaitan. Continuing from the beginning of Hajj up until this point, you will continue with the talbiyah. Once you have pelted the big shaitan, there will no longer be any talbiyah after that. And when you're pelting the shaitan, you hold the stone between your thumb or your index finger. Either you can throw it like this, or even better is to throw it in this particular manner, but there's a chance that it may not reach the jamarat in that particular manner. To throw it at a distance of 5 yards and to read the dua, Bismillah, and Raghman li shaitan wa ridan li rahman, that may it be a means of humiliation to shaitan and a means of the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After you've pelted the shaitan, now you at the jamarat. What you will do in all likelihood is you will then stop the talbiyah and you will now proceed to Aziziyah. You'll get back to your hotel. And that is why at the outset I said that you'll pack your bag for 2.5 days, because you will now return to your hotel. Once you get to your hotel, you're still in the state of ihram. You would have made the arrangement with your travel agent that the travel agent will do your dam, which is the dam-e-shukr, the slaughtering of the animal as a token of appreciation for the fulfillment of this great act of Hajj. If you are not a musafir, then it is also necessary for you to do qurbani. So you may then arrange with your travel agent to do both, or you could do just the dam-e-shukr in the haram, and the qurbani could be done in South Africa or in any other place. Once you receive confirmation that your dam-e-shukr has been done, then only can you shave your hair. And the women will cut just 3 centimeters, as has been explained. Once you've cut your hair, then you will remove the haram sheets and you'll wear ordinary clothing. Everything becomes permissible now except relationship with one's spouse. The big thing now is to perform the tawaf al-ziyarah, to go to Makkah al-Mukarramah from your flat in Aziziyah, from your apartment, to make your way to Makkah, to make the tawaf al-ziyarah, which is necessary, and then to get back to Mina. The big question is then when to do this. Either you do it immediately, or you go back to Mina and you do it the next day. The leeway is to do it up until before the end of Hajj, which is on the 12th day. So when you go for your tawaf, you need to have wudu. The tawaf in the first 3 circuits, there will be ramal. That means that you will move your shoulders and walk with vigor. After you've made your tawaf, you will make your 2 rakats. Then you will drink the zamzam and you will proceed to the mas'ah to make your sa'i between Safa and Marwa. You will do your 7 circuits, and once you've completed your 7 circuits, it's then the 2 rakats nafil. And now, once you've completed the 2 rakats nafil, you are now completely out of ihram, and your now next task is to return to Mina to spend the night. It is advised, and it is part of the rituals of Hajj that you spend the night in Mina. Many of the South Africans tend to spend the night in Azizia and with flimsy excuses that, I'm not feeling well, the wife is not feeling well, that's why we're sleeping in Azizia. What is part of the objective is to fulfill Hajj in the best possible manner. So you need to try and get back to Mina, try to get back before the Maghrib Salah so that you're there by nightfall, or at least before Fajr time comes in. After Zawal, you will perform your Zohar Salah, and you will then on that fourth day, which is the 11th of Zulhijjah, you will proceed to pelt all three Jamarat. At that point, you'll begin with the first one, the second one, and the third one. After pelting the third one, you will then proceed either back to your camp in Mina or to Azizia, and to return to the camp in Mina just before sunset. So this is the second day of pelting. And then you'll spend the night, which will be the fourth night, in Mina. And on the last day of Hajj, after Zawal, you will again proceed to make your Dhuhr and pelt the three Jamarat. Once you've pelt the third Jamarat, your Hajj will then end at that point. If you intend to spend the extra day, you will return and spend the extra day, or otherwise your Hajj will terminate at this point. What remains now for you is to just do one more thing that will complete your Hajj, and that is the Tawaful Wida. That is your last visit of the Baytullah, your last opportunity to present yourself at the Baytullah. So during your Hajj, you make the Tawaf, which is known as the Tawaf of Hajj, and that is part of the important Rukn of Hajj. And after Hajj, there's one more thing that remains, is to make your final visit to the Baytullah. If you're going to stay for a number of days, then during those days you will make multiple tawafs. However, just before you're about to leave, you'll make the Tawaful Wida. And the Tawaful Wida is the last visit to the Baytullah. You will go and perform your normal, like you're performing a normal tawaf. And this is what wudu. There will be no ramal, and there will be no sa'i between Safa and Marwa. You will make your 7 circuits with istilam on the first one, ending off with istilam, your 8 istilam on the end of the 7th one. Then you will go to the Maqam Ibrahim and perform your 2 rakats, and also drink your Zamzam water. And then at your last instance, you will try to make your way to the Multazam, or towards the Baytullah. And you will then put your right cheek on the Baytullah, and you will make dua, and you will ask, Ya Allah, accept this Hajj. And oh Allah, bring me back time and again, marratan ba'da marratin. And oh Allah, if this is my last visit to the Baytullah, then grant me the reward of Jannah in lieu of this Hajj. And with that, you will leave the Baytullah in such a way that you are weeping, that you are crying, that on the one hand you are filled with shukr that Allah had granted you this opportunity, and on the other hand you are sad that you've had to leave the Baytullah, and that you now do not know when will be your next opportunity to visit the Baytullah. And with that you will then leave, and you will then return to South Africa or to your destination. So that gives you a broad overview of the 5 days of Hajj and the activities of each of the days, and what is required for you from each of the days. May Allah Rabbul Izzah grant everyone an accepted Hajj, a Hajj Mabrur, a Hajj Maqbool. There's obviously lots of detail that we've had to omit due to constraints of time. So we've given you an overview, but at any stage, if you want further detail, if there's any queries that you need, then you can always get in touch with us. Inshallah, we'll be glad to assist you in that regard. May Allah Rabbul Izzah make it easy and accept from one and all. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khairi khalqi Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.